ready. First of all, good afternoon, dear guests. If I didn't meet some of you, I was trying to do it at the entrance. I would like to welcome all of you here today at today's meeting. We called it the meeting of the working group on Cyprus-India cooperation. Our aim today is to make an overview of what is the situation now and to brainstorm a little bit what can be done to strengthen economic relationship between India and Cyprus. I'm pleased to greet here His Excellency Dr. Raghavan, High Commissioner of India in Cyprus, Deputy Minister of Shipping, Ms. Natasha Pilidis, President of Cyprus-India Business Association, Mr. Marios Andreou, and all of you, our dear friends who came and joined us today for this meeting. I was asked many times, why do I, being a Russian person, work so much and try so hard to promote Cyprus-India cooperation? And I have my own story. So I wanted to be a doctor when I was a baby and a girl. And because I wanted to be a doctor, I studied all medical systems. Indian one, Ayurveda, was the most attractive to me. And at that time, at that age, I realized that it's impossible to understand Ayurveda without understanding Indian philosophy, Indian culture, all this historical heritage which this country has. I came to Cyprus in 1999, and since then, I was very deeply involved in the development of Cyprus-Russian relationship, because I'm publisher and editor-in-chief of a Russian newspaper and magazines. We organize dozens of events every year which are targeted to strengthen Cyprus-Russian links. But 7 years ago, we established a business magazine, and we realized that there is an empty niche. Nobody is responsible to gather together people of all nationalities, not just Cyprus-Germany Association, Cyprus-India Association, Cyprus-Russia Association, but all together. So that was the idea, and that's what we are doing last 7 years. We organize such events at Best and West Conference and many other conferences, bringing together people from different countries. Our record here was to bring in one room people from 30 countries, majority of them living and working in Cyprus. And that's what we are doing today. Cyprus-India working meeting. And I need to say that I've been to India many times. The first time it was with President Tassos Papadopoulos. He landed in India for a few hours just to greet people. It was on our way from China to Cyprus. But then, in 2006, he had an official visit. And since then, you know that there were a lot of discussions, a lot of communication between Cyprus and India. We can see that Cyprus and India have a lot in common. The state system, the legal system, the accounting court, the rules that state from the British Empire, and we inherited it here in Cyprus as well as in India, but also wonderful cooperation which Cyprus and India had during Commonwealth time. Now Cyprus is a member of EU, and it cannot be in the same time member of Commonwealth, but what is good, Cyprus and India continue to strengthen the relationship. Closing my introduction speech, I would like to mention the program of today's event. After I finish, I will invite to this stage my colleague on co-organizing today's meeting, Mr. Suresh Sharma. Then we will have speeches by His Excellency High Commissioner of India to Cyprus and the President of Cyprus-India Business Association. The speeches will be followed by a video that High Commissioner wants to share with us. And after this, we will have two panel discussions that are aimed to brainstorm possibilities, opportunities of development of Cyprus-India relationship. So I urge you, please do not hesitate to contribute to those discussions that we will have here. And even after the meeting is finished, if you wish to stay a little bit with us for coffee and tea, for networking purposes, to discuss what you heard. So, dear colleagues, let me to wish to all of us to have a productive and interesting meeting today. And I invite all of you to share your vision, your thoughts, your suggestions with us. So let's consider that this 1 hour and a half that we will spend together will be an important step on development of Cyprus-Indian economic links. Thank you. Now, I would like to invite to this stage Mr. Suresh Sharma, Attaché on Commerce, High Commission of India. Mr. Suresh.
Thank you, Natalia. Honorable Deputy Minister of Shipping, Excellency High Commissioner Dr. R.K. Raghavan, I would like to welcome on behalf of High Commission of India all of you for this such a wonderful event, and I'll not take much of your time, so I'll tell Natalia to start the program. So welcome to our India-Cyprus event. Thank you. Thank you.
And of course, we would like to start this program with a speech. I would like to welcome here High Commissioner of India, His Excellency Dr. Raghavan.
Good afternoon to everybody here. My compliments on behalf of the Indian government and the Indian High Commission. I must thank at the outset the organizers for having conceived of this meeting. It is such meetings which ultimately promote good relations, good business between countries. I'm extremely happy to be here. I must compliment Suresh for having thought of this, and Gaurav, my other officer from the Indian High Commission. I'm deeply impressed with what I have seen here. I hope this will be a precursor to many more such occasions in the future. I believe we in government, in India as the government is presently organized, we believe in transparency, exchange of information, exchange of communication. Gone are the days when governments used to operate in secrecy, in confidentiality, and not sharing enough information. So that culture has given way to a culture of transparency, especially in India, under the present government. And I stand before you as a representative, as a humble representative of the government of India. I don't have to sell India now as if we had to probably 2 or 3 decades ago. Now India is in the news everywhere, and for a change, for the right reasons. We are a burgeoning economy. We have so much to offer to the rest of the world, and we do not claim any superiority over the others. At the same time, gone are the days when we used to feel inferior to other countries which are marching ahead. We are marching ahead with a growth rate of about 7 to 8% every year, and we are a robust economy, trying to have a footprint in every possible field of human activity. So these businesses, these conferences help us to communicate what's happening in India. First and foremost, I would like to mention is the present government's determination, resolution to make things easier for a foreign entrepreneur coming to India to invest. What is known as the ease of doing business in India. this has grown phenomenally in the past 3 or 4 years. When you step into India, you feel you're welcome, which is possibly not the case a few decades ago. So in terms of hospitality, in terms of an openness to discuss across the table, we have gone very far, and we're almost on par with every other Western economy, which has already marched ahead of us. But we feel that we can catch up with any economy in the world and do business on a footing of equality. So that's the first thing. This explains the phenomenal inflow of foreign direct investment into our country. The way the present government has eased norms for a foreign entrepreneur to invest in India, this is amazing. It is not mere propaganda, it's not mere glib talk. On the ground, it has taken off in the form of regulations which permit foreign direct investors to invest for the benefit, for the mutual benefit, for the benefit of the investor and for the benefit of India. So this, if you go into the websites of ministries in India, you would find how much foreign direct investment has happened in the past. It's a phenomenal growth. I do not want to burden you with statistics. There is so much of information available on the web. So this is the first thing I would like to. So that should give you confidence, enormous confidence in the ability of the country to attract people. A number of regulatory and policy issues facing the businesses and companies have been tackled headlong, and we have worked sincerely in building up investor confidence. And then the Make in India slogan. It is no longer a slogan. A lot of people, entrepreneurs from different parts of the world, have now come to India, gone by what the prime ministers, our dynamic prime ministers, appeal. We are no longer content with importing goods from abroad. We believe in making things in India. So you're open to bring in your goods, but then start making them in India. This is the slogan which the Honorable Prime Minister has been spreading, and there has been phenomenal response to this slogan of Make in India. There's no point in merely importing. Merely relaxing import restrictions is not going to take any growing economy very far. We should encourage domestic manufacture of all possible equipment, including aircraft, including other defense equipment. We want to stand on our own legs. Yes, we'll facilitate you coming in and making whatever you have already been manufacturing, you come and make them in India, but without any loss to you. We will encourage, we'll be assured of certain percentage of return for what you do in India, but then try to do them in India instead of bringing it all the way from your country. And the most important aspect of the Indian picture in the past 15-20 years is the growth in the IT sector, information technology. We have got some amazing corporations, for one of whom I worked until I came here in Cyprus last year. I was working for the Tata Consultancy Services, which is part of the Tata Group, which sells the brand name of Jaguar in UK. I'm told about 50% of the cars on London roads are now Jaguars. I feel so proud about it. So Jaguar and Land Rover, JLR as they call it, and Tatas who used to make world-class trucks, commercial trucks. So they are now, they already had a car business, but then what they're doing in England is amazing. So I used to work for an information technology company called the Tata Consultancy Services, whose market capitalization is about $100 billion. It's the largest company in India with offices all over the world, about 50, 60 countries. I was a proud member of the Tata Consultancy Group. In addition to Tata Consultancy, we have giants like the Infosys, like Wipro, like Cognizant, any number of companies. If you go into any of these cities, I mean, the amazing sight of young men and women out of colleges, engineering colleges, going into these huge centers. Each of the main cities like Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, take any of these major cities. Each city is about 100 to 150,000 young IT engineers working. If you go into any of these centers, I mean, you'd be amazed. Are we in a so-called third world country? Not any longer. Of course, it's absurd to call India any longer third world. But if you go into these centers, it's a kind of a revelation to me when I joined the private sector on retirement from government. If you go into any of the major centers, some of these centers in Chennai, Bangalore, a center which has about 50,000 people working under the same roof. Infrastructure which has been built over a course of 4 or 5 years by architects from all over the world. They come and they've given us some beautiful pieces. There is one in Chennai, close to Mahabalipuram, which is a famous, which is on the beach, which is a famous tourist center. It's a marvelous piece of architecture, marvelous piece, workplace. Like this, many of these cities in the country, they have huge IT establishments and outsourcing of business. That's the model. US, our bread and butter is the US. In spite of all protestations about India taking away a lot of business from countries like US, we are a marvel as far as IT technology is concerned, because the number of engineering institutions which exist in India are mind-boggling. There are about 1,000 engineering colleges, and the highest in that infrastructure and the hierarchy is this so-called Indian Institutes of Technology, IIT. It's a world name, which whose alumni come out of a very stiff competition, and they do. So they come through a stiff competition, and then they pass out. Many of them go into the IT companies, but we lose many of them to Stanford or MIT, name it. So they go there, and then they are a pride of the nation. Now, for example, Google is headed by an Indian called Mr. Pichai, and then Microsoft, Mr. Nadella. I can name any number of companies. We're also proud of the chief of PepsiCo. You name any industry in the US, Indian entrepreneurs, Indian engineers, technology, they go there. And many of them stay behind also. There are about each city, like Chennai, or Bombay, or Chennai and Bangalore, they have about 200 to 300,000 engineers working on any day. That's mind-boggling. I'm not trying to impress you with figures. That shows the strength of the Indian economy. It's the intellectual content of the technological capacity of India. So these engineers are available to the entire world. They're not stuck in India. They move around, and then they kind of travel, which they do. I myself travel the length and breadth of the world thanks to my employment with the TCS until last year. So the IT strength, because they do marvelous work, IT outsourcing, which has been done, and so India can, any piece of problem of your work, of your factory or other establishments, you outsource them to India, and they are able to devise solutions in no time. Then about medical, we have a new expression. I'm not exactly happy with that expression, medical tourism, which means people wanting healthcare treatments, they go to India. There are amazing hospitals which perform who give you medical services like surgery or anything, you name it, the wide spectrum of medical services which are available in India. Why you should prefer them? Because for two counts. One, the speed with which you receive. For example, UK, if you want a transplant or a surgery, orthopedic surgery, you have to wait in a queue about 6 months or 1 year, by which time the patient will collapse. He may not be around to receive this treatment. Whereas in India, you go there, Within a fortnight, you will get the surgery done, and you can go back to your country fit and proper. So this medical tourism has attracted so many into India. It's again an amazing phenomenon. Hospitals in like the Apollo Group, and there have been escorts, Heart Institute. There are brilliant surgeons, brilliant physicians who are there. So medical tourism is again caught on. All top class hospitals. Probably you'll get the service you want for half the price, half the money you will spend in the UK or USA or probably Cyprus. I don't know what costs are. So this is another development. I'm sorry if I'm digressing, but I thought you should have an idea of what's happening in India. It's a revolution. It's a revolution beyond belief. And tourism, yes, always. I'm the greatest critic of India and the greatest admirer. Tourism, we are doing a lot to attract. When I came in here, look at this ocean, I felt so thrilled. We also have an equally enchanting nature, but possibly we haven't done as well as many countries, including Cyprus. But we are catching up. Some of our resorts are amazing, especially if you go to Goa and some of these places in Rajasthan, even in the south, architecture, Mahabalipuram on the beach. Now they caught up hospitality industry again. It's caught up and it's on par almost with the best in the world. And what is most striking about India is the youth. There are about, I think, I don't want to burden you with statistics. I may be out of date, but possibly about 30 to 40% of our population. Our population is 1.2 billion. We probably will touch 1.3 very shortly. But about nearly 40% of our population are youth, less than 30 years. They have enormous energy and they have enormous expectations. So the government is finding it difficult to cope with the speed with which we have to motivate our youngsters. But they are, one more thing, not many of them depend on the government. Government can do so much and nothing more. But information revolution that has taken place in the country, that enabled the youth to catch up with the rest of the world, get to know what's happening. And English education, for instance, everybody wants, the lowest economic stratum in the country would like to educate the children in English. They won't accept anything. Not that they think lowly of other languages, their own mother tongues. I'm very proud of my mother tongue, Tamil. But then, yes, the patriotism is okay, chauvinism is okay, but then economic necessities demand that you learn a foreign language which is understood almost the whole world. So English education is again another revolution. The lowest stratum, I come from the Indian police service. I used to be in the Indian police service. The lowest level of the constabulary, who get into the force at the lowest, they were treated, they were kind of treated badly until about 20, 30 years ago. They're the lowest in the hierarchy. Their children now are put into convent education. This is an expression not many of you will understand. A convent education means English education. So everyone, so the number of people who can understand, read and speak English is again a phenomenal number. So this is again, that's why China, we are able to make forays into areas where the Chinese probably are only a second to us because of our superior knowledge of English, especially in software. English is very essential. So in the US, the first preference for an Indian rather than for a Chinese. I may be offending some of my Chinese, but I know them very well. They are most enterprising people. They are very friendly. I get along well with many Chinese here as well. But then again, so the knowledge of English, which is again is a great resource asset when you want to invest in India. And then we have the cell phone revolution. This I think I should pause for a moment or two. Now I think we have more mobile phones than landlines. Landlines are become a rarity. I think course of time, our children, grandchildren will not know that there existed a kind of a landline. Everybody is mobile telephone. And I understand mobile phones have exceeded landlines by several percentage. And the cell phone revolution, the remotest village, as you can have a cell telephone. And the average villager who may not have gone to school or college, but he can handle a cell telephone with great dexterity. Same way, many of them speak about Skype, Android, things, expression which I wouldn't have known until about 10 years ago. This again in the villages. And then every avocation, people, for example, we have a long coast, and then fishermen who go out into the seas. After they reach the high seas, they call those on the shore how much they have caught, what is their catch that night, and then making people ready to receive this kind of a catch. I mean, this is mind-boggling. So cell telephone, that's again, the network is amazing. And then satellite TV, we have what, I suppose you know that we have about 18 official languages. Don't quote my figure, it must be somewhere around. 18 official languages and so many other dialects. And then there is the TV channel, the kind of expansion is again unbelievable. Each language, particularly languages in the south, each language is about 100 TV channels. I'm not exaggerating, you can check for yourself. That spreads education. The newscast, news channels, they're amazing. They borrow a lot from the West. Channels, communication. I'm on this point of communication, cell telephone, and then this one, TV channels, and the network of roads, which is very important. And north, south, east, west, we call golden quadrilateral. Golden, so this is north, south is about, north, south will be about 2,000 miles, and east, west about 1,500 miles. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and from Bombay to Calcutta, we have built roads. The roads were a shame until about 10 years ago. Now if you go into those highways, which is on par with those in the best in the world. This again, which facilitates business. Why I'm highlighting all this is that you will never miss the infrastructure which you are used to in the Western world. I would like to end by saying that you're most welcome. Anybody wants to invest. It is not mere words. Suresh and I are available in our High Commission. Any time you can walk in. Just give a call to make sure that I'm there. I'm not gone for tennis or a swim. Make sure that we can meet over some good Indian food which is available close to our High Commission. So I would like to talk to you. I've been doing it in a small way. Not that my predecessors have not done it, but I would also continue that mission of attracting. We are a hospitable nation. We would like to see more of you coming into the country. And about Cyprus, I would like to end by saying, I came 6 months ago. How happy I am, I just can't explain to you. Yes, my wife and I would like to see more people. We see only more cars. And everywhere is only cars. And the whole day, if I'm at home on Sunday, I don't see any human being except seeing each other, which does not exactly promote good matrimony, the relationship with husband and wife. If you see each other the whole day, we get disgusted with each other. Except that kind of a loneliness that we feel occasionally. You are such a wonderful nation, so friendly. I've been here, this is the 7th month. I have not heard any arguments which were used back home, which makes life a little uninteresting. We don't see people who are arguing with each other, fighting with each other. I mean, everybody seems to be friendly to everybody else. Everybody, there is a kind of a smile. We feel wanted. That's the most important. We feel wanted. There's nothing which we miss, except that we like to see more human beings. And we in India are always available to send millions and millions. Thank you very much, and I'm available for anything.
I always admired people who can speak without paper and from their heart to share everything High Commissioner shared. It's true. India is a promising country. Economy grows with so fast speed that people outside of India cannot even imagine. In 1 year, India may start building 200 airports. Cyprus was building its own airports. Or we have opened just in Marina a very long-waited cruise terminal, which we were waiting in 18 or 20 years, while in India now the speed is so fast that they could open this terminal in 9 months because there is a demand and there is a lot of working power and there is passion. I think Indian people now are very passionate to be the strongest economy in the world. Okay, now they are one of the strongest, and we are here to discuss how Cyprus can be somehow next to India and continue the friendship. And I invite here the president of Cyprus-India Business Association, Mr. Marios Andreou, who will give us his views on how Cyprus and India can cooperate.
Honorable Deputy Minister of Shipping, Mrs. Nadasabilidis, Your Excellency Dr. R.K. Raghavan, High Commissioner of the Republic of India to Cyprus. Dear friends, we're very lucky that as Cyprus we are able to count India, the world's fastest growing democracy, as one of our closest friends and political allies. This political connection led to the creation of the Cyprus-India Business Association in September 2005. Our association, which is under the auspices of the Cyprus Chamber of Commerce and Industry, has as its main objective the promotion of economic cooperation and business ties between Cyprus and India. Admittedly, the strong political ties have not led to similar strong economic cooperation and business opportunities. Perhaps there are a number of reasons for this, and corrective actions need to be taken both at government and business levels. There are various areas for cooperation, but I would like to concentrate on 3 of them. Cyprus as an EU base for Indian groups, Cyprus as a base for investments into India by Western and EU investors who themselves have Cyprus as their base, and tourism. Cyprus has been and will continue to be India's best friend in the EU. As an English-speaking EU member state, with a legal system based on common law principles and which has been a natural business hub throughout the centuries because of its strategic location and geographical proximity to 3 continents, Cyprus can be the base for Indian groups operating both in the EU but also Africa and Middle East areas. Indian groups can set up in Cyprus or buy or invest in an existing business in Cyprus in a similar fashion that some foreign investors, for example the South African ones, have acquired some of the Cyprus businesses recently in the malls and pharmaceutical area. The added bonus of being in Cyprus could be especially seen in the financial services industries, banking and funds for example, where once the relevant licenses are obtained from the Cyprus supervisory authorities, EU passporting and promotion of services in the whole of the EU will be possible. That applies, Your Excellency, to Tata Consultants and Wipro and everybody else that you mentioned before. Cyprus must consider taking measures that would give clear signals that Indian groups are welcome to do business on the island and also to set up their EU and regional headquarters here. These include, but are not limited to, facilitation of visa requirements for Indians who visit Cyprus, depending on whether the purpose is for business, tourism or studies, and on work permits that would allow Indian companies to use their Indian employees in projects within Cyprus. Additionally, signing additional bilateral agreements, e.g. to facilitate Indian companies to participate in government procurement projects, would give the ability for Indian groups to be more active in Cyprus. Also create opportunities for better air connectivity, which is very crucial for business and tourism. According to the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion of India, the total FDI investments in India during April to December 2017 stood at $35.94 billion US. Even though Cyprus stands as the 8th largest investor into India, with cumulative investment of 3% of total cumulative FDI, it only accounted for just less than 1% during the current period. The top investors were Mauritius with 37% and Singapore with 26%. Cyprus is actually a bigger country than both Mauritius and Singapore. We believe this is mostly the outcome of Cyprus having been listed as a notified jurisdiction by India between November 2013 to December 2016, something which has negatively affected the psychology of investors into India through Cyprus. Now, Cyprus actively supports the continuous efforts made by the OECD and the G20 and the European Union in increasing transparency, combating tax evasion and money laundering, and eliminating harmful tax practices. In this respect, Cyprus has introduced the necessary legal framework and concluded international agreements, in some cases even as an early adopter, to facilitate the exchange of information and with other jurisdictions, as well as combating money laundering, terrorist finance, and corruption. For example, information on incomes, bank account details, tax rulings, and country-by-country reports are currently exchanged by Cyprus under relevant EU directives, bilateral double tax treaties, and multilateral instruments of the OECD for the administrative assistance between tax authorities. In the era of transparency, Cyprus, rated as a largely compliant country by the OECD Global Forum on Transparency and Exchange of Information, can play an improved role as an FDI source of genuine and clean investments into India. Excellency, it is also important that the Indian authorities give clear signals to the investment community that investments from Cyprus are welcome in a similar way as investments from other FDI source countries like Mauritius and Singapore. President Anastasiadis' official state visit last April 2017 has given a new impetus, and we should capture that momentum. The business opportunities are many and varied. We would like to see Cyprus business be part of the Make in India concept. We would like to see joint ventures between Cyprus and Indian businesses in various fields, such as waste-to-energy projects, water purification, joint initiatives in research for new generation on solar efficiency, wind parks, pharmaceuticals, education, tourism, including medical tourism, film production, and even on much larger projects like the cleaning of Ganga in terms of water management and soil preservation. Now, there has been a lot of talk about Bollywood films being shot in Cyprus. It is a widely known fact that Indian film industry is shooting films, wholly or large parts of them, outside of India in places like Switzerland, Hungary, Ireland, Spain, Malta, etc. As a country, we need to understand the importance and correlation of Bollywood films being shot in a country to attracting Indian tourism to that country. The significant business opportunity of having Indian films made in Cyprus, apart from the direct opportunities, some of us may star in certain roles within those films, is the impact that it has on tourism. And Indians are amongst the biggest spenders whilst on holiday. Cyprus authorities and also the tourism and leisure industry need to note that and take necessary actions immediately. They should engage in discussion with the relevant producers in India and move fast. This in turn would create opportunities for cooperation or joint investments in the hotel and leisure industry, for example, investments in hotels or taking hotels under management by Indian groups. The recent tax and rebate incentives that Cyprus has approved should facilitate this. Excellency, dear friends, only when in India, and even though Excellency tried to describe what happens in India, my personal view is that only when in India one can understand why this incredible country is advancing at such pace and constantly gaining momentum. Only when you drive in the cities, walk in the vibrant streets, engage and listen to the people, explore their openness and experience, their everlasting eagerness and energy to work and produce, do you realize the potential of the country. The inevitable is happening, and India's potential continues to be unleashed. With a population of more than 1.2 billion people, of which nearly 2/3 are of working age, India is an investment destination, a business hub, can be a source for human resources to the rest of the world, an amazing tourism destination, and much more. There can be no doubt that the opportunities are there for the business communities of Cyprus and India to capture them. Excellency, you're in your 7 first months, as you say, of your posting. I would like to wish you once again a successful posting in Cyprus, and assure you that our association and I personally are committed to assist you in achieving your targets. One of my favorite says is Mahatma Gandhi's, "An ounce of action is worth more than tons of preaching." So all of us in here and our colleagues which are not here today need to take action immediately in order to reach out and connect with Indian businesses. The Cyprus Business Association, the Cyprus India Business Association is at your disposal to assist you in any way possible in your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. As far as I understand our program, now we have a video that Mr. Sharma would like to show to all of us. We are not going to watch the whole 7 minutes video, but 3.5 minutes just to have an impression what's happening in India today.
Honorable Deputy Minister of Shipping, respected High Commissioner, Mr. Mario Sandro, Ms. Natalia, and once again I thank Natalia to organizing such a nice event for this. I will not take much of your time because already High Commissioner and Mr. Marios, they have briefed you in detail about the opportunities in India. But I'll show you some of the sectors where Cyprus can be, you're more interested. I'll tell you a little bit about this. Thank you. The brief about the business opportunity in India. We are a 2.4 trillion economy and we are 1.3 billion. In India, we are taking steady steps over 4 years at both micro and micro level to make difference. Our motto is reform, perform, and transfer. The results are coming. Our procedure, process, and system are getting aligned with the best in the world, and we are maintaining pace of the faster growth. We are among the fastest growing major economics. FDI inflow are at all-time high. It's a 17% in the last quarter up to September 2017. And tremendous work is being done to skill and employ the youth because 65% of our population is below 35 years of age and is hungry for technology and growth. So this is our greatest opportunity as well as challenge. For this purpose, we have started Startup India campaign. There is a vast potential for India-Cyprus partnership in this area. Indian industries, startups, and academic institutions must collaborate with their Cyprus counterparts to assess the huge reserve of knowledge. India has size and scale. Cyprus has strategy, location, and gateway of EU. Today, we have emerged as one of the largest manufacturing nations. So we are positioning India global manufacturing hub, leveraging the energy of our youth and giving the best infrastructure. And the Make in India initiative is designed to help achieve this. And in Make in India, because of our youth and the infrastructure is the best place to make things there. So we are trying to create a new India. We are particularly keen to develop India into knowledge-based, skill-supported and technology-driven society. A grand beginning has already been made through Digital India and Skill India. To enable these transformation in the last few years, our government has taken substantial reforms. The government of India has resolved a number of regulatory and policy issues facing the business and companies. So we have worked sincerely on ease of doing business, and we have to do more. To enable entry of capital and technology, most of the sector, including defense, have been opened for FDI. More than 90% of FDI approvals have been put on automatic route. And just now we have allowed 100% automatic route FDI in single brand retail and construction development. Construction development will be the interested point for the Cyprus because there are so many construction companies. We are reforming, GST reforms has been done. So it's present a vast economic opportunity for Cyprus companies. So we invite more and more Cyprus people and business people and companies come and work in India and make in India. I will not show all the slides because we have produced a very nice this book in India, Surging Ahead. We have put in each bag this one, and there is a USB also, there is a presentation there. I'll show only few here. So diplomacy for development. You can see here economy size US dollar 2.4 trillion. And GDP, projected GDP in last 2017-18, 6.75. And 1890 estimated 7.5. Young demography, in this one also, 65% are youth, and we will be youngest in the world by 2020. Make in India, we already, High Commissioner also, elaborated on the things. It was launched on 25th September 2014, and we have done a lot of in this one. FDI, number one FDI destination in the world. I want to, tell about this one. In this top sector attracting in this one also, you can say in the FDI inflow over April to September 2000, it's US dollar 25.4 billion, increase of 17%. And these are the top investing nations: Mauritius, Singapore, Japan, UK, Netherlands, USA, Germany, Cyprus also there. It's 9.3 billion from the Cyprus. So India ranking also, after doing all the ease of doing business, we have moved a lot up. It's BA2, 30 in this one, and World Bank also 100. In 2017 is what 130, and 2018 rank came to 100. So GST, we started this one to make transparency all over this one. So for infrastructure, we are doing in every sector, like railway. There are a lot of projects going on. So from here, investor can go and invest in this one also. We are transforming all the railway station and tracks also, trains also. There are many opportunity in this one also. This station development, I told you already about this one. Roads, we are connecting, all over India. Ports, many ports are coming up, and this Sagarmala is 6 new ports have been identified to build. So there's a lot of opportunity in this one also to invest in this one. Flagship infrastructure project for this Sagarmala, the 100 Smart City Initiative. This is very good for, Cyprus business people. They can invest in this one, smart cities. Prime energy, and this all details are, in my this small booklet. I'll not go this one. In the solar also, just now India took the initiative and formed an international solar alliance with in association with France, and the summit was, just first summit held in India. So in this one is a very big market. India has not on the panels, now it's come to this battery storage and different things. So solar is a very big market, and many countries have signed this framework agreement. Wind is a National Institute of Wind Energy also. It's a big sector for investment. Construction. In this construction, 100% FDI by automatic route. And it's allowed in this township, road and bridge, residential, hotel, hospitals. So this is also very good, for investment from Cyprus, because most of the people are here in textile and garment, our GDP, so 5% to share this. Textile machinery and space. India is doing a lot in space, and we are launched 100 satellite. And many countries are using, you can see here, I'll show this. In January 2000, launched 30 micro and nano satellite from different countries, created, and 96 from US, one from Israel, Kazakhstan. So we are in space, we are catching for many countries. Defense, the details are there. Auto clusters. We have specified many areas for this, 6 areas for the auto cluster. Startup environment, digital India, and IT. IT is the fastest emerging as a digital economy, because all over the world you can see IT people from India, in US, in UK, in Europe, everywhere we are from IT. IT is, so you can, electronics, pharmaceutical also here. This pharmaceutical can be, it's, they can have a, manufacturing here and then cater the EU market, because Cyprus is in EU, so it's a good opportunity here for pharmaceutical, medical equipment. I'll show it, and food, tourism and hospitality. India ranks 40th among 130 nations in April 2017 by this World Economic Forum Travel and Tourism Competitive Index. So 9.6% of GDP. So foreign tourists arrived 90.01 lakh in 2017. And we ease it by giving the visa online. So anybody can apply online. There is no need to come to embassy or High Commission for visa. It's online for Cyprus also. E-visa, 167 countries. 167 countries, national can apply e-visa, 2 months stay, dual entry for business and tourism visa, triple entry for medical. Thank you very much. I will take little 2-3 minutes to show the videos, so please enjoy these videos. Thank you very much for it.
as dewy dawn gives way to early morn, the sun's first rays shine their blessings on a land long receptive to it. Daybreak is not just the time to wake, but a chance to rise, to salute the sun and celebrate the divine. And so yogis of all castes and creeds unite body and mind, spirit and soul through the ancient discipline of yoga. Connecting the inner self to a cosmic consciousness starts young in India. And what better way to serve the cosmos than to take care of its creations? The Sekmol Eco School takes this mantra to heart. Its students have helped build the low-cost, sustainable school and run its green farms and solar energy systems. Sekmol is just one of India's many experiments in education that have led to the quadrupling of literacy rates since independence. The famed Indian Institutes of Management and Technology create wealth and employment over $450 billion worth of value and 20 million new jobs.
Access to funds has increased, the government is suddenly supporting Startup India, Make in India, and all of these programs that are coming out.
Following in the path blazed by Indian giants like Tata, Reliance, Infosys and Wipro, a generation of engineers and entrepreneurs are creating exciting new startups like Ola and Zomato, while e-wallet services like Paytm are propelling the nation towards a cashless society.
There's never been a better time to start up, and I think India is at a point where the system will actually give way to a bigger ecosystem of starting up and building great companies.
Surging, speeding, streaking ahead, India, the world's 7th largest economy, is slated to hit 3rd place by 2050. Supporting this growth is a massive investment in infrastructure, which allows the benefits of development to reach everyone, just like agriculture allows the bounty of nature to benefit everybody.
एक कुदरती खेती देखी सी छोटा बच्चा हमने हमारे माँ बाप करते थे ना, तो उसमें बाजार की जरूरत नहीं।